Welcome to The Culture. We rest at the pulse of the community, providing all things news, media, fashion, events, and everything that we talk about in between. Documenting our Black powerful history and amplifying our Black voices, one interview at a time. We are The Culture.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of The Culture. I'm your host, Jessica Modkins. Joining us today, we're so thankful. We have Kim Miller. She's the Vice President of Community Affairs for the Miami Dolphins, Hard Rock Stadium, and Formula1Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix. Welcome to the show, Kim.
Thank you so much for having me, Jessica. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Yes, today we're going to talk only about the Formula1Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix, which is returning to the Miami International Autodrome at Hard Rock Stadium. Kim, you all annually, you transform Miami Gardens into this center of global motorsports. So for those of the Culture family who may be new to F1 or never have experienced the race before, can you tell us what the dates are for this year and an overview of what makes this event just special?
Absolutely. So the race takes place May 2nd through the 4th this year. So it kicks off on Friday, goes through Sunday. You can see action on the track every day. So one of the things that makes our Grand Prix special is that there's a lot of racing. You're going to find F1 academies. So you're going to see the women, men on track. There's just a lot of opportunities for racing, but then our campus is enormous, right? People have an opportunity to experience the campus just even through a campus pass, right? You're able to walk through and hear music, experience like the food, local food, even some people within our community restaurant program, which I know we'll probably talk about. So there's just so much going on between the racing, the food, the culture, the music, activations. There's a lot to see.
So that Autodrome, is it going to encompass the opposite side of what we typically know as the Hard Rock Stadium? I know that was a part of it last year. Will that also be there this year?
Yes, it extends our campus, going across where people typically, if you come to a Miami Dolphins games, you're probably parking there. Please take rideshare to get here for the race, because we use kind of every inch of this place to create this wonderland of racing, food, culture. It's a lot of fun. It's just a great weekend to come out and enjoy with friends, family. I've had my daughter out here and my mother at the same time, like just being amazed by the cars going around the track.
Awesome. You mentioned this earlier, and yes, we have to talk about this. The community restaurant program, it's now in its 4th year. Mm-hmm. You began in December with the restaurant summit. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. Well, this is something that Jason Jenkins, I know a dear friend to both of us, initially started. And our community restaurant program, like you said, it is in its 4th year. At that restaurant summit, we give potential vendors for the weekend an opportunity to learn about the race, learn about the campus this year, what to expect, and also just some networking with each other, as well as the other vendors. And then from there, they learn about the application and people apply. We're excited. We selected 15 different local community restaurant partners this year. One thing that I'm also really proud of is over 60% of them are actually women-owned businesses, whether they're singularly women-owned or they're co-owned. There's several couples that happen to own businesses too. So we have a strong female showing for ownership this year.
Nice. And then also, I believe you have a certain percentage that are actually based in Miami Gardens as well.
Yes, the majority of them are also based in Miami Gardens. We do have other restaurants outside of the city here in Miami Gardens, but the majority of them are Miami Gardens based. We have multiple restaurants that are returning from years past, but we also want to give other restaurants an opportunity to be here on campus and experience the race and really give people an opportunity to learn about them and their food, right? Because this event draws people from all around the world. It's not just Miami specific. You will come here and hear multiple languages over the course of the weekend.
Now, this restaurant program continues to strengthen ties between Formula One, Greater Miami community, and this has to resonate in the bottom line, dollars and cents.
Mhm.
Give us a dollar amount of what this economic impact has been during the course of the timing that you all have offered this to owners.
Yeah, so over the last 3 years, it's been about $443,000 that's poured back into those restaurants. I'll also make note that this year is the first time that we've had 15 restaurants out on campus. So we want that number to only grow, right? Giving more restaurants the opportunity to sell their cuisine. As our staff, our food and beverage staff, helps to make the selections, they first do some vetting, looking at the menus, the type of cuisine, because we want to have a lot of diversity across campus, right? People don't want to just go everywhere and buy a burger. We want to have a lot of variety. So we hope people enjoy that cuisine, but also for the restaurant partners, right there, this is a weekend for them to make a lot of money. And we hope that we do that. We set them up for success for that.
Have any of them shared their experience as being a vendor there for F1?
Yes, absolutely. They've said, it's been amazing to be such a part of such a big international event, like just the crowds, they've never seen anything like it. But it's also just a little bit different in that, each part of the campus kind of has its own feel. So I think they like that variety. And, we treat them just as we do all the other restaurant partners that may be from really large organizations that have been around for a long time, right? So they're benefiting from, the setup of, the water, the technology, all those things, and, getting that first class experience that we offer here at Hard Rock Stadium. So we want to give them an opportunity and let them know that they are welcome here and they belong here.
So we've been very excited about the fact that we've been able to partner with you annually, and we've noticed how this sport has continued to evolve. And this year, you mentioned it at the top of the show, you're offering a campus pass to allow people to experience F1. Can you give us an idea of what that encompasses?
Yeah, the campus pass allows someone to explore kind of almost all corners of the campus, right? You can be out by the fountains, you can go out to the marina, which again gives you the opportunity to experience a lot of different food, see the track from all different angles, right? There's a lot of turns in the track, so you can watch the track. There are different viewing platforms. People can enjoy the track and see it from different angles, as well as there's simulators, just things to do all across the campus. I know from my very first year, when I joined the organization, it was like actually our second year of the race, I put in about 25,000 steps just in a single day. So when I talk about the campus pass, you're not, just relegated to a small space. You really get to see all over, because I, was exploring just as if I was a fan at that time, really checking on all of our different stations for staff. Because we try to make sure that our staff have all the resources that they need, right, to serve the fans that are coming. So it's a major undertaking. All parts of our business get involved. This is definitely all hands on deck. You'll see all business verticals out there to make the race happen.
Now, another program that I'm excited to talk about is your F1 in School initiatives that you are continuing this year. How have you been able to expose local youth to STEM careers as well as the business of motorsports?
It's one of the favorite things that we do because, right, it's the young people, bringing them in and seeing careers, right? A lot of people think of us and they think of the Miami Dolphins, but they also then, hear about this race. For me, it was my first experience with a Formula One race when I came to the organization. So to bring kids in, 9, 10 years old to experience that, right? They're seeing it, but also in the classroom, they're learning about STEM, understanding the technology that's used, but also thinking about it from the business as a whole. They'll even talk about marketing. How can AI be used? So it's hands-on classroom experience. We have what we refer to as pit stops. So our team here goes out to the locations that the program is running in Miami Gardens, so Bunch Park and North County K-8, sees the kids there, gives them some kind of surprises for the program. But also just recently for spring break, we took them to a museum, they went karting, and they also came here on campus during the Miami Open. So it's the classroom learning, but we also make sure that they get out of the classroom too for this. And then we tie it all together, and they will be here Thursday night. So they get a bit of a preview when they come for community night, igniting possibilities. And that's what it's all about, is like igniting possibilities in their mind. What else could you do in the career? Just as we think about football, not everyone's going to be a football player, not everyone's going to be a driver, but boy, you can have some really amazing, impactful careers within the sport.
I was going to ask about the children and their exposure to these career paths, but you answered that one. So thank you so much for that. Also, there may be, as you mentioned, families who may be bringing their children to the race. Can you tell us a little bit about any family-friendly programming that may be offered during the weekend?
Absolutely. That there are fan zones. Just kind of, you go to any big event, there's definitely fan zones that exist, simulators, understanding what it looks like to, be a part of a pit crew, changing tires, things like that. But we also have a special community zone. And one thing that makes the community zone unique is that in collaboration with our STEM partner locally here in Miami Gardens, Seek Foundation, people have an opportunity to do a reaction game. There's some trivia. There's also simulators there. You can learn a little bit more about the STEM work that we're doing in collaboration with the community here in Miami Gardens. So you can see things throughout the campus, but I really encourage people to stop at our community tent. It's just a great way to learn more about what we're doing, but also have a fun hands-on experience, see one of the model cars that some of the young people have been able to put together during their time in the program.
Kim, you have your trajectory in the NFL has been quite vast, and you've touched a number of different departments. And I would be remiss if I did not ask you this before we wrap today. What does this opportunity personally mean to you, to be a part of this movement of blending sports, culture, education, economic opportunity? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's always been important to me, and just from a family standpoint. Like, I grew up in a family. My mother was a nurse. My father started as a social worker before he went into corporate America and was in human resources. So it's just to be able to give back in a way that helps people advance, right? It's like, how can we support education and economic advancement that truly provides mobility? When we think about really leaning into the kids and their understanding of STEM, their excitement for the sport, their excitement for learning, right? How can we have that hook to it? And then same thing with the restaurant partners, providing them with opportunities to grow their business, to network, to get greater exposure, and of course, to make money throughout the weekend. But it's not just about the weekend. It's about what comes from there, right? Who is that business owner that didn't know about that restaurant prior to, that says, hey, I want to bring you in for catering. So it's about what happens over the course of the school year for the students and on race weekend, but it's really all beyond that. So for me, it's really important. It's a part of like a core of me as a person, from a family standpoint. What I want to teach my daughter is how we give back and how we're always helping people develop and grow so that they can have that education and economic mobility to be successful in the community and thrive.
That is great, Kim. Congratulations on all you do. We're here at The Culture to support you. If you have any other initiatives you would like to announce, our platform is always readily available to you for that. So we want to thank you for joining us and all that you do. Culture family, guess what? Earlier this year, I was able to hop into a Formula One vehicle. It was media day, and I was able to take a hot lap. And when I tell you it was hot, it was hot. Thank you so much for joining us. Check out this video of me taking my hot lap, and we'll see you next week.
He told me a couple of things I needed to do in order to make sure that there was no motion sickness or anything like that. You have to anticipate the turn, anticipate when the driver is going to brake, ensure that I have a sight for long distance where the driver is driving and is turning, then I'm looking beyond the turn to anticipate where we're going. Hopefully all of that sinks in and I have a great ride. Pray for us.
How did it go, Jessica?
It was great too. Very exhilarating. Thank you.
The Culture is produced and owned by Hip Rockstar Media and is distributed by the Culture Media Group. It cannot be reproduced or broadcast without written consent. All